Once again, it's your boy, Uncle Fred, and who I got sitting next to me, none other than my main man, TK. TK, how's it going today?
Awesome, man. Let's get into it. NFL.
Yes, sir. All right, man. NFL Week 9, man. The year getting away from us, man. Week 9 already. Man, I remember it wasn't that long ago they kicked. I was waiting for it to kick off, and now it's like, man, it's halfway over, man. Interesting bit of games we had last week. TK, we both did good, man. This is one of my better weeks.
I want to hear what's good.
I mean, the tail of the tape, because I really got to do a better job of documenting our picks, and I got to figure out a way of doing it. And what I had to do last night, I had to do the old-fashioned way. I had to go back and listen to the video, see who picked who. I had to go through that little painstaking thing and listen to the video. So I went 11-4. We had 15 games. I went 11-4. You went 10-5.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah, ain't bad.
Yeah, I take it every day of the week, man. We had some misses that that we both missed. That was just you some of this stuff you just can't predict. Look, man, you ain't gonna predict the New Orleans Saints shutting out the Las Vegas Raiders. That had no business happening.
Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange game, but
very strange.
You know my rule about the Raiders, though.
Wacky.
Wacky Raiders, man.
Man, a team with that much firepower could muster 183 yards of total offense and didn't get across midfield to like 3 minutes to go in the game.
Come on, catch for Devontae, man.
One catch for what, 5 yards?
3
yards. Oh, my bad. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. One catch for 3 yards.
That was rough, man. That was a rough.
I assumed he must have got hurt. He didn't get hurt.
Nah, he just got phased out of the game, man. As did the entire offense.
I don't understand that one, man. That was one we missed, and I'm like, man, that was a head scratcher there. And I was like, man, there ain't no way that team got shut out, man. This is the thing I said, man. And we don't want to make the video too long, but I was talking to my man RD, as a guy I work with. You know how hard it is to get shut out in today's NFL? With as many rules that they have to help the offense. You can't do nothing to the quarterbacks. You can't hold the receivers. All this kind of stuff. You can't. I mean, how you get shut out today? It's almost like you had to actively, like, you know what, man, we ain't gonna participate, man. You know what, man, y'all, we just gonna go through the motion. We ain't trying to, So I just thought that was like odd, man, with today's NFL, how the rules are geared towards scoring points. The defense is it's almost like the offense got 12 guys versus 11 guys playing defense. So if you don't score, I don't understand how. I just don't get that. So
yeah, and you're right. It's kind of strange, man.
Yeah,
almost like in the NBA, just compare and contrast. Like if you can't touch 100 in the NBA today, it's like probably a you problem.
You can't be, because you can't be touched. Cannot be touched. But yeah, we missed that one. We both missed the San Francisco Rams game. Christian McCaffrey turned into LaDainian Tomlinson, first guy since I think 2005 to run for a TD, throw for a TD, catch a TD in the same game.
C-Mac. Love C-Mac, man.
Man, nobody saw. I seen that coming, but with the injuries San Francisco had, I didn't see them being able to do that much. Now Rams having a week off to play. And the Rams kind of made me kind of upset because then late in the game, you down 27-10. Why you still trying to force feed Cooper Kupp and got him hurt playing around? What are you doing? What are you doing?
playing for stats. It's a dangerous game. Don't do that.
Stop that. Stop that.
Don't do that.
Man, y'all had no chance of winning. It's 27-10. Y'all, the game over. It's 3 minutes to go in the game. You're not winning that. Ain't no 17-point play. You're not winning that game. Shit, sit Cooper Kupp. Sit Matthew Stafford. You know he got elbow injuries and shoulder injuries. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, man?
Stats, man. Stats. Gotta run them up.
But then the other game that kind of stuck to me, we're gonna get into our picks, was the Carolina-Atlanta game, which is weird because they're gonna be playing next week. Playing two games in 3 weeks. That's crazy to me. But you know, that's weird, man. Guy makes a touchdown catch to tie the game up and could go ahead, took his helmet off, penalized them. They had the opportunity to either take the penalty on the try or on the kickoff. And with the kick with the extra points being at the 15-yard line, I think it's 15 to the 10. I can't remember. It's back a ways from where it used to be. And you add 15 to that, made that a 50-yard almost extra point that he missed and that tied the game. And so I remember one of the sports guys saying, may have been Jim Rome. He said, he said, look, man, I'm not knocking the rule because the rule is the rule. He said, but I think that's a dumb rule. I said, that dude might have caught the biggest catch he ever caught in his life. And it wasn't like he took his helmet off and like, yeah, you know, he just like, man, he was engulfed by the moment. It wasn't in the context of like I'm showing somebody up or I'm like, yeah, I did that in your face. You know, that kind of thing. It was kind of like, man, I can't believe I caught this and I got a chance to win the game. And he got penalized for that, and they missed the extra point, and it ended up being a tie game, and Atlanta ended up winning, which I predicted. But I thought that was kind of a messed up thing. You know, like I said, I know the rule is the rule. It's been there, and I'm one of the people. Don't complain about what do you call the thing when you jump out of planes? What do you call those things? The rip cords or whatever. Don't be complaining about that after you jumped out the plane. You can't complain about that then because it's too late. You complain about that before you board the plane. Hey man, my landing gear ain't right. I want to check that out. So, you know, the rule is the rule, and that's what it is. And the referee elected to call that then, and it was just tough, man. It was just a tough thing for me, man. You know, even though I had Atlanta winning that was just a tough thing for me to see, you know, for that. I'm like, man, that dude felt bad. Then the dude missed like a 30-yard field goal after that, which could have took him off the hook, and he missed it. So
great play by DJ Moore, a guy that kicks for a living. Do your job, man.
Yeah, you got one job. Yeah, you got one job. So, yeah, those are the 3 games that kind of stuck to me, man. And you know, I mean, it was some other games too, but those are the ones that stuck to me, man. But 11-5, 11-4, 10-5. We both had great weeks. I bet we did better than y'all did. I bet we did better than y'all did.
I would like to know if we did.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get these picks started. We're going to start in the 12 o'clock block of games. We got the first game we got is the LA Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. I'll start off by saying Atlanta coming into the game high off of that win. Like I said, it's probably one of the more exciting games of the day last week, and they riding high off of that momentum. And I look over the injury report. Atlanta really don't have any significant injuries other than AJ Terrell that I've got on my injury report. The Chargers, as always, seem to have a bunch of injuries. I mean, I know they got some stuff in the offensive line, you know, but Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are both out with an ankle and hamstring, respectively. That's huge right there. That's huge. No. Atlanta, they're playing in Atlanta, playing in Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's coming in with house money. Nobody expect them to be 4-4. 8 games into the season, leading their division. No. The Chargers kind of came in. Everybody kind of had them, you know, in the Super Bowl, and they are, 4-3, I think?
mean, man, yeah, they got a lot of injuries, man. But
A lot of injuries.
Week 1, man, that didn't seem far fetched after week 1. I'll say that. Yeah. Please continue.
I don't know how I see this one, man. I think the Chargers are the better team. But there's always that thing, the West Coast team coming to the East Coast at 12 o'clock. There's always that thing with that. Not always, but it's enough of that happening where you've seen a lot of teams that were better than the team they went to play in the East, but they played at 12 o'clock, which is like them playing a game at 9 o'clock a.m., basically, on their body clocks. Man, would I be looking like stupid if I said I got Atlanta?
Well, if you are, then we're both gonna look like buffoons because I got Atlanta as well.
Okay. We're gonna be buffoons together. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got Atlanta. If no other reason that they're a more healthy team, I feel like they're getting confident. You know, they got a lot of their offensive players healthy. You know, AJ Terrell is out is a thing, but the Chargers really don't have no receivers to challenge them with. You know, I mean, they got some guys behind Allen and Williams, but they're not as good as Allen and Williams, or they'd have been starting. You know, so look for that. Look for them to work the tight end, and look for them to work at Austin Eckler, a good back out of the backfield. Look for them to use that. Look for him to have 7 or 8 catches out of the backfield to compensate for them not having Williams and Allen. But I still got Atlanta winning. I just something about them. I just think they just. You know how you just they ain't got sense enough to know you ain't supposed to be 4-4. They're just playing. I just think that's the Falcons. They just don't know no better, man. Hey, man, ignorance is bliss. We just playing, and
I think their season probably started off a certain type of way. You know, we talked about it. Let's be competitive. We'll probably lose games. We just want to, show some fight, and then you get midway through the season, like, wait a minute.
You're actually winning here.
Things are in reach that we had no idea would be in reach because you probably didn't predict what's going on in Tampa right now. So look up halfway through the season, win the division. So yeah, I think motivated and inspired football, will kind of take hold in Atlanta. Chargers so beat up, man. They're more talented to me, but the talent isn't on the field Sunday, so I'll go with Atlanta.
Okay. Both got Atlanta on that one. Okay. Both got Atlanta. Okay. Next game we got is you had nothing else on that, did you?
No, we did.
Okay. Next one's gonna be an interesting game, but I'm going the same way, man. I got you got the Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. The Miami Dolphins, man, they made a believer out of me last week because I had Detroit beating them coming home. And I was like, I thought the Detroit, because like I said, they got an offense, they got a lot of good skilled players, and I thought like on the road, Miami would go up there and get beaten. They were getting beat for a while because Detroit had the lead on them. I think it was like 27-7 or 27-10 or something like that, and didn't score another point. End up outscoring them like 21-0. Ended up being like 31-27. Didn't score another point. So they basically ran them down. Of course, now the Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver duo is deadly. Okay, I don't know how much more I got to say about that. Everybody knows we got to stop them, and they somehow continue to light folks up. Tua seems to be in groove with those guys. And the Dolphins made and both teams are factors in the trade deadline. With the Bears dropping off 2 and picking up 1, dropping off Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn and picking up what's the receiver's name? The receiver out of Pittsburgh,
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. So they got lost 2 and picked up 2, and then the Dolphins might have got the steal of the free agency period of the trade deadline, getting Bradley Chubb and promptly signed him to an extension. And that's gonna shore up their pass rush. Man, the Dolphins gonna be a player in this thing for us over with, man. I got the Dolphins, man. I think the Bears are trying to figure out what they're doing. I think the defense, obviously, when you lose a Roquan Smith and a Robert Quinn, obviously your defense is not going to be as good as it once was. And I think they're transitioning more to an offensive team because you got Justin Fields. But in this game, I got the Miami Dolphins going to Soldier Field and winning because I just think, man, I think they made all the right moves. I just think it's hard to keep that team under 30 points, man. They just, I got the Dolphins, man.
Oh yeah, man. I got the Dolphins. Track meet Dolphins. Love their moves at the deadline. Bradley Chubb, Jeff Wilson. They're going for it.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're going for it. They're confident that they can be a real factor in the playoffs. So even if they don't necessarily win the division, they'll still be a factor in the playoffs. Adding Bradley Chubb is to go along with Jalen Phillips, the young defensive end on the other side.
Right.
Just shoring up, like you said, the front four. Adding another versatile back to the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on the other side is Justin Fields. Well, Chicago's not developing him as a read progression passer, but they are utilizing him with the tools he works best with, his feet.
Right.
They're scheming him up to be an exciting runner. But they did, they needed more talent at the receiver position. We all know that.
Right.
So, it's about doing the things that you're supposed to do in the front office and going and getting them a guy. We'll see if they scheme him up to actually get him the football. They're past couple of weeks, Chicago's been finding ways to just let Justin make a play, and it's almost always with his legs. So, for that reason, I think they'll find ways to. Justin Fields will find ways to make it interesting. But Miami's going to win this game as far as I'm concerned. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And for anybody, sheds a whole lot of tears for woe is the Bear. Man, the Bears got a ton of picks, man. Don't feel bad for the Bears. The Bears got a ton of picks now. They got an opportunity now. If they got good people in their front office. The GM's name is Ron Poles. They got from Kansas City. So they got, he's, we'll see what he's made of. See if he's as good a talent evaluator as he's supposed to be at the GM position, or if he got people on his staff to, but if he got picks, and they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money under the cap now. So look, if they in the next couple of years, if they're not in the playoffs, man, there's gonna be people looking for pink slips. That's all I'm gonna say, because they got the resources in place, to make some things happen. We just got to see if you can actually pull the trigger on the things. If you're seeing who you need to see and pulling the trigger on who you need to pull the triggers on. So that's always a thing. So, all right, man, moving on to our next game. And we're looking at the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals. And I ain't gonna spend a whole lot of time on this one. Carolina, look, man, I will say this. I was a little more, and I really hadn't seen PJ Walker, other than his name is PJ Walker, and he was the backup to the backup quarterback in Carolina. With now the quarterback and the backup quarterback being hurt, so you go on PJ Walker. Actually, he didn't look too bad last week. He had some nice throws, and that throw that should have won it for Carolina, man, he dropped that thing right in the bucket from like 50 yards away. And so yeah, man. But in Cincinnati, I'm just gonna say this, man. If Cincinnati don't get that offensive line fixed,
yeah,
they're going to they're going to get that man killed. And it's gonna take him longer to go through the progressions because the other receivers left. You know, Boyd and Higgins are not as good as um, are not as good. So he's gonna need time, and the more I see it, man, more it seems like we made a good choice in letting Lyle Collins walk. Because every time I look up, man, he's turnstile and letting another dude get into Joe Burrow. So yeah, they are missing Jamar Chase, man. That's for sure. That's for darn sure. But I would have thought that with the other guys behind them, that they would have been able to, do some things, and maybe they will. But I still got them winning this game because they're playing at home. They're playing Carolina, a team that really offensively not going to be able to do a whole lot, I don't think. But I got Cincinnati winning this game, but Cincinnati better pull it together, man. Or they may miss the playoffs altogether.
I mean, the Cincinnati should win this game, but then the caveat that matters here, you without the most dynamic player, and oftentimes that pocket is collapsing on Joe Burrow, and Brian Burns, Eric Brown can do that. So I mean that Carolina defense, for as much as the offense leaves a lot to be desired, ain't too much left desired for that defense, man. Chock full of talent. J.C. Horn on the outside corner. Love that young player. Jeremy Chin in the secondary as well. Eric Brown and Brian up front. They held on to Brian Burns. I think smart move because he's a really talented young player. I mean, Shaq Thompson in the middle. They have a lot of talent on defense. I think J.C. Horn matched up with T. Higgins. That's going to be a really good matchup to watch for if you're into that. I expect Cincinnati to incorporate Joe Mixon out of the backfield a lot, get him a lot of, catches flat and just try to make something happen. Tyler Boyd underneath, see more targets with Chase out. I got Cincinnati, man, not to drag us on here, but I do think that can be problematic for Cincinnati if Derek Brown is living in in the pocket.
Backfield. Yeah.
He's moving in the backfield, man. It could be an issue. So
yeah,
Cincinnati should win. So I go with Cincinnati.
Yeah, like I said, if they don't get that offensive line fixed, Carolina got that kind of defense that could make you look real bad, I don't know. I mean, they're playing at home, so like I said, I give them the nod. But man, it ain't about much. I don't make that with a lot of confidence. But anyway, yeah, we both got Cincinnati, but got Carolina making it interesting. Cincinnati favored by 7.5. So we'll see how that goes. All right, now we got the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions, and I think this might be the game that Aaron Rodgers he's got to save their season because they're 3-5. I can't see them going 3-6. They're playing Detroit. I know Detroit's a team that has lost some games they probably should have won, and they got an offense that real fun. They get a lot of their key players back. Detroit plays a lot better at home than they do on the road. They played real well against Miami last week. They just didn't finish strong and allowed the Dolphins to run them down. Green Bay got some issues, man. They got inexperience at the wide receiver position. Them not willing to make any moves at the trade deadline when they knew there was moves to be made. There were wide receivers to be had. I mean, they could have made some sort of move for like we were trying to get Cooks. I think he would have been fine. He would have been great for Aaron Rodgers. Of course, now Houston wanted a fourth and a second and pick up his entire salary for next year. That's why we didn't pull the trigger on him. But but there was other guys out there to be had. They didn't make any moves or nothing. And that's kind of that's the kind of things that have been critical of the Green Bay Packers organization. They just stand pat and go with who they draft and don't never make any splash moves, don't do anything. And they kind of have left Aaron a little in the lurch here. And I will have to admit that because especially when the two guys you drafted, one guy's kind of been okay, one guy can't stay on the field. And then your other two vets, Lazard, can't stay on the field. And then about Watkins, he's often injured. So it really but I think in this game, if the Green Bay Packers, if they lean on Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, I think they'll be able to win. I got Green Bay winning this one because I think Green Bay can run the football if they'll commit to it. Because if you saw last week when they played Buffalo, that's how they kept their game close. They manhandled really Buffalo up front, and I want to say Aaron Jones ran for like 130 yards or something against them. That's a good front. Buffalo's a good front, and they was able to have their way against them. So Detroit has proven you could run on them. So I got Green Bay winning, but I think Detroit makes it interesting, but I got Green Bay winning.
I mean, yeah, I have to go with Green Bay on this one. Man, that T.J. Hockenson trade was real strange. I would love to.
I don't like that trade for Detroit, but love it for Minnesota.
Well, I just thought it was strange to trade him, period, but then to trade him
in the division.
Yeah, I would really like some backstory on that, man. That was one of the ones I saw through the flurry of transactions. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't even see that one coming.
Yeah, I know the situation, man. Lot stacked up against A-Rod, but man, I mean, they gotta have this one. So I just gotta trust they're gonna get it done because they really need it. So
okay. All right, we both got Aaron Rodgers and the Packers winning this game. And Detroit falls to 1-7. I think that's what that would make them. Green Bay's favored by 3.5 too. So we both got Green Bay. So we'll see. But yeah, that was interesting. I didn't see that coming. I saw that trade coming. I'm like, they unhappy with Hockenson. I like Hockenson. I think he's one of the better tight ends that don't nobody talk about. And
he's flashed for them also this season. Like he's been. I guess you would consider that inconsistent because there's some games,
Yeah,
he's had a couple games. It's like, whoa, wow, hey, he did that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think that would be the kind of guy you move. Period.
Right. That's kind of a guy you keep the build around, right, with the rest of your guys, right? You traded him within the division too, and I'm like, because you usually don't trade a guy within the division. You just don't do that because you get to see him. You have to see him twice a season. Why would you do that?
Well, especially a younger guy that, like, man, do you really want, if he does figure it out, do you want his best days, his best years to be against you?
Right. Right. Yeah, I didn't like that trade. But Detroit, like I said, if I'm Minnesota, yeah, I'm making that trade every day of the week and twice on Sunday. If I'm Detroit, if I'm in Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you do that. You do that trade.
he's going to a great situation for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't like it because I got to play them in 2 weeks. But we'll be playing him twice. We just played him last week, and now I got to play him in 2 weeks. Crazy. All right, next we got the Las Vegas stinky Raiders. Yeah, they smell, man. I'm sorry, man. They need a daggum what you call that thing? They need some Febreze, man. At the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Do they stink too? Can't be that pleasant.
Well, I mean, they kind of got a right to smell a little bit. They got a bunch of young players, man. They shoot, you got Derek Carr and Devontae Adams and Jacobs. You got players, man, that's been in the league 3-4 years and been to Pro Bowls and stuff. Dude, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing over there, man? Starting to make me think that maybe Josh McDaniels can't coach, man. The people he rubs off on folks the wrong way, man. I'm starting to think that, and it would wouldn't be the first time that a Bill God, what's his last name? You know me and names.
Bill Belichick.
Belichick disciple, has not fared well. In the NFL, a lot of them come off as like, yeah, I'm just like him, and you really ain't him, and players don't respect you as being him, but you're not him, and you don't walk around, with your, clipboard and your pencil stuck behind your ear and thinking you him, and you're not him. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going on here. I'm just starting to see a pattern. You see a Matt Patricia, you see a I'll even say a Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien hasn't done as well as, a lot of the guys, Romeo Crennel, a lot of the guys that have been under him have not done well. And so, Josh McDaniel flamed out in Denver before he came there, so I don't know. But there's more talent on this team than them to be 2-6. That's all I'm saying. That team got more talent to be 2-6. There's something going on there. But they're playing at Jacksonville. Like I said, Jacksonville had a nice little start. They were 2-1. Now they done lost 4 straight. But like I said, you starting Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, bunch of young players, got a bunch of draft picks. I don't know what they're doing with Trevon Walker, and hadn't really heard his name mentioned that much. This season, he was the very first pick. They had some other good picks, and then of course they spent about $200 million in free agency. So I'm with you there. They kind of need to be better too, because they spent money and they playing for an owner that ain't gonna be very patient with them. So with all of this money they spent and the draft picks that they've secured and stuff like that, and of course they got draft picks. I think for James Robinson, who they just traded to the Jets. So they got more draft picks coming. So I got Vegas, but Josh McDaniel better start winning some games. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done.
Yeah, this is the Raiders, man, and then they playing another team. It's just like, I mean, how does Jacksonville lose that game last week against Denver? This is the ultimate wacky game. It's like, I don't want to. I don't want either team, man. I do like that, Travis Etienne is being given the keys. He's electric, talented, electric player. So I do like that he's healthy and now being given the backfield. Trevor Lawrence, he's going through his ups and downs, having a shaky season. For the past several weeks, I've thought they were must wins for the Raiders. It hasn't stopped them from losing them.
Wow.
I kind of think last week that putrid performance against New Orleans is kind of like, I mean, that's the bottom. That's about as low as you can go.
Yeah.
Or is it? Or maybe you can go lose to Jacksonville the week after. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Whoa. Way to go out on a limb, man.
Maybe that'll inspire the Raiders to throw Devontae Adams the ball tomorrow. But
Yeah, you got the best receiver in the NFL. You might want to throw him a ball or two. I mean, you know.
I'm going to go with Jacksonville, man. Raiders, prove me wrong, man. Sheesh.
Hey, peep this out, TK. Marcus Lattimore didn't even play last week. How they lock him up?
Where? I don't know.
I mean, I understand Marcus Lattimore. He's one of the better corners, physical. You know, he gets after you. You know, I get that. He ain't played. And that dude got one catch for 3 yards.
Yeah, Jacksonville.
I think they ran the ball with him one time, too. So he's like, okay, we'll let him run the ball one time, I think, for 1 yard or something like that. All right, man. You got Jacksonville, I got Vegas. That's our first split of the day. So, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so next game, man, I ain't got a lot on this. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots.
I got the Patriots.
Yeah, I do too. Although I will say Indianapolis played a good game last week against the Commanders. I actually thought they was going to win that game. They was up by a score too late, but they let the Commanders score twice in the fourth quarter to eke out like a 17-16 victory, I think. And I actually won that game to go 4-4. I actually had the Commanders, but I really was bummed that they lost, that they won that game. I said, oh shoot, the Colts gonna win that one, and then they let them win it. So I'm like, dang, come on, man. You know, ain't for no other NFC East teams. They can't be winning. But no, man, I'm gonna go with New England. They playing at home. They're playing against Sam Ehlinger, making his second NFL start against Belichick. Yeah, I don't like your chances, man. I don't like your chances. I got New England, and we'll see where that goes. New England's favored by 5.5, and we both are in agreement on New England winning that game. Okay. Not much more to be said on that one. All right. Now we go to staying in the AFC East. We are the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets.
I can be very brief. Bills.
Next. Bills. Yeah. Look, man, the Bills was playing with their food last week. Because they really were. You know, they was pushing their food around on the plate. Yeah, they playing with their food last week.
They won't be playing with the Jets this week.
No, because I'm sure. I'm pretty sure their coach, you know, got into them about that sort of thing. You know, look, man, we got these. We're supposed to win these games. Can't play around with no NFL opponent, man. You know, this ain't college where you just, you know, some directional school, state, whatever, that you favor by 45 against, and you can just go out there and put a D+ effort against or whatever. You got to, you know, with the talent that team has, they should have beat New England. It should have beat Green Bay by about 4 touchdowns with what they got to play against them with. So hopefully they learned their lesson. The Jets, you know, they're, you know, a lot better than they thought, but Jets got some injuries too along the offensive line. They got some injuries. I think Corey Davis is out again. According to what I saw, yes, Corey Davis, he's the only one listed on the injury report. Now the Bills, surprisingly, have Jordan Poyer is out. That's significant. He's half of the best safety tandem in the NFL. The other one being Micah Hyde, who's out for the season. But that's significant too. But I just think the Bills are just better. I'm going with Bills and not going to spend a whole lot of time on that one. Bills, they're favored by 12.5 at the Jets, which I think is like one of the biggest lines ever as a road team to be favored on the road by 12.5 points. That speaks to where people think those two teams are, in the hierarchy of things, So, so we both got Buffalo. All right. Now the games get interesting. Okay. This is one I kind of went both ways on, but then I went back and thought about it, and I thought about the trade it just made, and I'm like, okay, that kind of cleared it up for me. Okay. Now we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Washington Commanders. I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
I got Minnesota on this. I don't. That's not a juicy game to me. But
you don't think so? Washington won 3 in a row. They 4-4.
Nah, man, Minnesota's they on a mission, man. They all in. They got offensive firepower. Their defense is solid and doing more than enough to complement that firepower on offense. They just added a tight end. Who I think is going to thrive in their system. They just stocked, man. They stocked outside. They stocked in the backfield. I guess Kirk Cousins' revenge game. Who knows? To me, this is Minnesota. I don't know too much, to say about it outside of that.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know how they're doing it, but Washington has won like 4 in a row. I think they're 4-4. I think they were 1-4, and they've won 3 in a row. I think they're 4-4, and they have pulled even to 500. With Heineke and Scary Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson in the backfield doing their thing or whatever, and they just kind of, and I think I want to say that Chase Youngs might play this week because I think he's been out all season coming back from the ACL. He took a little longer than most for that, but everybody has their own recovery cycle. But I think it's going to be a better game than you thinking it's going to be. But I got Minnesota winning it because I went back and I thought about it. Man, they just picked up T.J. Hawkinson to go with that. It's like the only thing you might say is like, man, Kirk Cousins sometimes be deer in headlights. That's the only thing, like I said, it's the Kirk Cousins Bowl. He used to play for them. They tagged him twice and parlayed that into him a nice payday with Minnesota. I got Minnesota though. Okay. All right. I think that might be all of the 12 o'clock games. Because that is all of the 12 o'clock games. And so now we move our attention to the 3 o'clock games. As soon as I find it. Soon as I find the 3 o'clock games. Here we go. I can't read today. All right, our 3 o'clock games. All right. I think there's only 4 of them. So first we start off with the Arizona Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona's favored by 2, playing at home. Seattle played a good game against Minnesota last week. I know they lost, but it wasn't like they didn't play a good game. They played a good game. They played well. I just think Minnesota just has more firepower than them, and they was able to outlast them. And Seattle kind of doing it with smoke and mirrors and enthusiasm, youthful exuberance, and Pete Carroll and Kenneth Walker. That's kind of how they doing the thing, They play smart, intelligent football. They don't turn the ball over. And they was able to beat the Giants last week. This was a tough one. I got Arizona at home, but man, Seattle's playing some good football right now, man. They got Geno Smith looking like, You know, I mean, I know he's not going to be an MVP candidate, but man, he's playing like he needs to be in the conversation. But I got Arizona winning. But man, hey, I would not be surprised if Seattle upset them. But I got Arizona. You got to pick one. So I got Arizona winning it. But
I got Arizona.
Seattle awfully well right now.
I got Arizona.
You got Arizona too? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, because I know he got his main man back. Got Metcalf. I keep calling him Metcalf. Metcalf's gonna be in the game playing for the Seahawks, but he's got Hopkins back. You know, that's a guy that he you know, they got a relationship where he, you know, and I think that just helps their offense. The other guys, he was just trying to find them and was having difficulty getting to them. Now with Hopkins, he's like, man, I got my security blanket, and that's going to open it up for Rondale Moore and some of the other guys they got back there, you know, catching for them. So I got Arizona. So, all right, next one. It's going to be an interesting game because this is a tale of who can save their season because both of them have kind of underwhelmed so far. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams flawed. Both teams playing, you know, offensive lines are decimated with injuries. The Rams, you know, got their butts kicked last week. Been getting their butt kicked all week, except week before last. Tampa Bay's lost 3 in a row. I mean, guess you got to pick one of them, right? I went with the Rams, but I mean, it's a contest of who could underwhelm the most in their season. Who can be the most disappointing in a season? Who had championship aspirations in a season? And you know, I mean, I ain't got no real pick to pick. The Buccaneers are favored by 3. I'm gonna pick the Rams, but you know, whatever, man.
Yeah, this is a very underwhelming matchup, unfortunately.
Question: you remember when they played last year? I was looking forward to that game. We was like, man, I can't wait till they play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that this year.
Nah.
Yeah, it's not that. So I'm gonna I go with the home team, Tampa. But
okay,
you know, because to me it's honestly a toss up, excuse me. And I'm going with Tampa because they're at home, but this game is just very underwhelming, man, unfortunately. Kind of a shame that it's come to that, but we'll see, man. If Tom, you know, I think Tom is still fighting for his division, whereas I think the Rams are kind of cooked, to be honest. The 49ers are a better team.
Yeah, we both picked the Rams, but we like even injured, they handled them.
Yeah,
it was down a bunch of players. The Rams are pretty much healthy, and they housed them. So yeah,
and I kind of got the Niners for making a nice run, just run away with that division. So yeah, you know, I got Tampa, man. That's it.
Okay,
drag it out.
Hey man, I ain't mad at that pick, man. You had to pick one of the two teams. Just which one has disappointed us most this year? You had to pick one of them. So you pick Tampa, I pick the Rams. We'll see how that thing goes down. All right, I think that's all the 3 o'clock game. Then we move to Sunday night, man. And the game I know.
This is fast for me. Kansas City.
Hey man, look, man. Tennessee done won 4 straight? Wasn't they 1-5 or 1-1? I mean, no, 1-2, something like that. And then they done won. But it was 0-2. They won 5 straight. They done won 5 straight games.
They've won 4 straight, I believe it is. But yeah, it doesn't matter. They're losing tomorrow night.
TK said, "Yeah, I hear that. I ain't impressed. Yeah, I'm going Kansas City. Oh, yeah, I know they won 5. I'm going Kansas City. I don't care what you saying. They could have won 12 straight. I'm going Kansas City. Look, man, in a nutshell, I think this might be the first time I ever seen a 5-2 team, a 12.5-point underdog.
Have you seen? Hey, look, I keep it respectful at all times about these players, man. But I mean, like, what they're doing, and out wide at receivers, just they drafted a guy, they let a guy go who's a star. We see what he's doing, and they drafted a guy, but he's not on the field right now. It's just, to me, if any team in the league was a team that, hey, you got a receiver, send them our way, was that the Titans? I don't get it, man. So
right,
not going to really get over enthused if the front office isn't going to get enthused about it. They're a winning team in terms of they're going to win their division. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to host a playoff game at least.
right.
It's like, I mean, if that's not indication to go for it, then I don't know what is, man. I don't see how you come out of a deadline as active as it was and you don't
and do nothing.
Basically, come out of it nothing. I mean, even T.J. Hawkinson, the guy, like, how do you not get him? How do you not? I'm not saying they don't inquire, but it's just you got to execute, man. It's too many options out there to come out with nothing and just bear. You got to cover this bear, man. Respect to the guys that are on the field again, but you need more talent out there, man. And whether it's Tannehill or the rookie, I don't think it matters tomorrow. So it's just like, it's kind of one of them things where it's like you're gonna win games and you're gonna win your division, but then when you get matched up against the best of the best, it's clear you don't belong. I mean, I think this is going to be their second national TV boat race. They got boat raced by the Buffalo Bills early in the season. To open the season. And I think the same is going to happen on national TV tomorrow. They're going to get outclassed pretty handily by Kansas City. And, Patrick Mahomes will be throwing to Travis Kelce and Hardman, and he gets the human joystick. That's what they call him. Kadarius Toney integrated in. I just think, what they do is just gonna show levels, man. It's gonna show levels tomorrow. So Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry, man. If he goes for 200 yards, it wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think it matters, man.
I'm with you. Incidentally, he ran for 200 yards last week. I think it's like his 6th 200-yard game. I think his 4th one against Houston. And the quarterback threw for like 65 yards, but it didn't matter. Get that thing to Derrick, get the heck out the way. So that's why they was able to win that game. They'll need more than that this week to beat Kansas City. Here's a scary thought. Kansas City, with all the offensive firepower they got, and you talked about Hardman, you talked about Travis Kelce, you talk about Juju Smith-Schuster, okay? And they got a guy they drafted that was supposed to be, and they just use him sparingly. Sky Moore, they got him. They got this dude Pacheco, who 7th round pick that that they could interchange with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They got McKinnon, number 1. That dude is when he gets them screen passes out in the flat, man, you can't bring that dude down. They got guys like that. Then they get Kadarius Toney and a week off to get him initiated to the offense because they made the trade last week. They didn't play last week, so they got a whole week to get him ingratiated into the offense.
Yeah, man, we know how this story is with that one. So
yeah, And I know I'm forgetting them. Oh, and no, and they got Valdez Scanlon. I forgot about him. You know, I forgot about that dude. So you go listen, you'll forget a player, and that'll be the guy that get 2 touchdowns that game. You know, and like I said, they had an extra week to prepare. They put that dude. They said, okay, this is what we're running. Whatever. That'd be one thing if they got him and they had to play that week. And okay, well, we run you in on a couple of plays and whatnot. Man, they had a whole week to put in, run him in. Man, this thing could get ugly. PK, the thing could get ugly. I hate to say that about Titans, but I think this one could get ugly quick.
I wouldn't be surprised. What's next? Monday night?
Monday Night Football, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints. And I think the BS stops right here with the Saints and their stuff, which, I mean, look, man, I don't know what they're doing offensively. I don't know which. Now, I was looking at their injury report. I don't know. I know that Michael Thomas is out for the season. I know that. So I don't know about Jarvis Landry. I didn't see him on the injury report. Okay. So it means you got him in the lobby, and I guess they're still going with Andy Dalton. I don't know what's going on with Jameis Winston. Don't know what's going on there, but you know, you got Alvin Kamara. I mean, you know, they got a nice little team and whatnot. But look, man, Baltimore is kind of on a mission. You know, I know. Rashad Bateman is out for the season with a foot injury. They didn't make any moves offensively, which I thought was kind of jacked up. They didn't get no, but they went and got Roquan Smith. You know, so they basically strengthened the strength, I guess.
It's a great pickup, man.
Yeah. So look, man, I got Baltimore, man. I mean, you know, I got Baltimore winning that one, man. New Orleans defense is stout, you know, and I guess Marcus Lattimore will play this week. I didn't see nowhere on the thing he wasn't, and you know, Cam Jordan, one of the best defensive linemen in the game. Don't sleep on Cam Jordan. That's a bad boy, man. Love me some Cameron Jordan. But I got Baltimore, man. And I think Lamar Jackson does his thing, but you know, I look for them to make it tough for him, though. They're gonna have some schemes in there with what's that coach's name? That golly, you know me and names.
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. You know he's gonna have them schemed up because it probably had Taysom Hill running scout team. So, but I got Baltimore winning it, man. I think they, you know, kind of solidify themselves, man. But they're playing at New Orleans. That makes it good. Baltimore's a 3-point installed as a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough game for Baltimore. And in ways, it's kind of a style clash, which is what makes it interesting. Both have pretty stout defenses. The Roquan Smith acquisition is huge.
Yes.
Putting him inside with Patrick Queen. I mean, yeah, that's a classic Raven move. It's going to pay dividends for years to come. Great move by them. But then, adversely on the other side, yeah. I mean, it's so ironically bad, man, that, you know, you don't make a move and then that same.
You knew Rashad Bateman was going to be out for the season. You knew that. Yeah.
I mean, between him, Dobbins, I mean, these are young guys that are expected to carry the offense with Lamar, and he doesn't have them. You know, so it's going to be a tough game. That New Orleans Saints defense is stout, it's very stout, and you're going to be in New Orleans, and they're going to be wild. They're going to be turned up for Monday Night Football, and that energy is going to be electric in that building, and they're going to scheme it up to give themselves a chance because they know Baltimore is not going to run away and hide from them. They don't have the capability of doing that on offense. So this will be like, 2017 type game maybe. I'll go Baltimore because I do think. I just think that quarterback situation is a little strange. If Baltimore can get enough pressure, I know they're getting back a lot of guys that have been out for a while on the defensive end, on the defensive line, and they're adding a premier linebacker to the middle of their lineup. So it's like, just give me Baltimore, but I'm dragging it, but just give me Baltimore. But that's going to be a tough game for them to win, man. And if they were to mess around and lose, it's not like I would be shocked about it, actually, because I think their formula to winning going forward is kind of strange, man. Because it's kind of like, they're gonna have to. They gonna have to make it work, man. I'm out of superlatives and stuff, man. They're gonna have to make it work week to week, man, and just win tough games. And if that defense steps up to the challenge, then cool. And you always have the electricity of Lamar. But I mean, yeah, man. I think they win though. That's what matters. They're looking for.
I'll say this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm saying something I probably shouldn't say, but that's fine. I'm gonna say what I say. That's fine. Maybe the Ravens are saying to Lamar, "You want this money? We're gonna make you earn it." Maybe they're saying that. I hope they're not saying that because I think that's a bad.
That's controversial. I think that is what's going on.
We're gonna put you out there with unproven wide receivers and let you run it and hand it and do, throw it to Andrews and we'll see if you can, if you can get us to the playoffs, man. Then we'll give you guaranteed $250 million or whatever, whatever. But you got to prove it. We got to know that it's because of you and it ain't because we give you all these weapons or whatever. I hope that's not it because at the end of the day, like we've said all along, when these organizations. If in fact they are doing these type of things, we've talked about it with A-Rod and Green Bay. Look, you act like these players are on a different team than you. If they don't do well, the team don't do well. Well, why would you get into a pissing match with either you give him what he needs to do to win it, like you would any other quarterback or any other player, so the organization could win, or you don't, but. If you don't do that and we don't win, you do understand we don't get points when we don't win. That.
Yeah, I think it's pretty as far as that goes. I think it's abundantly clear they don't want to give him a long-term deal. They kind of want to, go to the franchise tag route with him.
I hope they don't do that, man. I really hope they don't do that, man. That's. Never seen a franchise tag on a quarterback other than Dak that ended well. I don't. That usually don't end well.
Well, I mean, they'll argue. Look what Kirk Cousins was able to do.
Yeah,
great on the franchise tag and
but he didn't play. He didn't end up playing for that team though. He ended up going to Minnesota.
Well, true enough, but
yeah,
I just think from that perspective, that seems like where that's headed. So.
Yeah.
On the field Monday, I think they find a way to
win. Yeah, we both got Baltimore, but there's some things going on behind the scenes, and just with the Saints, with what's going on with the quarterback situation, and with Baltimore, them kind of like saying, "Hey, we're gonna make you work for your pay here." So, I don't know. We'll see how this thing goes out. Then we got the next Thursday game, which probably is kind of par for the course, I think, for the Thursday night games. Although this past game was a good one, which was last week. but we got the Atlanta Falcons going to the Carolina Panthers.
Atlanta.
Okay. All right. All right. We both got the Atlanta Falcons on that. No need to make a lot of ado about that because, you know, it is what it is. You know, Atlanta could be distancing themselves in the AFC, NFC South and making a push for the playoffs by that point. So we'll see what happens. But man, that's all the picks we got for today, man. We hope y'all's picks be as good as ours, and we want to hear what y'all's picks are. Are y'all smart as us? I bet you y'all ain't. You know. But that's all we got, man. Any parting shots, TK? It's been a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge. Any insight, any parting words? No? Nope. Okay. Cat got his tongue. Now, you know he's not shy. He'll speak. He'll speak.
Man, enjoy y'all Sunday, man. Football, you know, we pick them and then we watch it and enjoy it.
That's it, man. But yeah, man, we enjoy his contributions and what he provides for the show, and his insight, his intelligence is unparalleled. So I just like to tell folks stuff when they can hear it. We need to hear it behind closed doors and tell it to his face. So I thank him for his contribution to help me put this together. Whatever it is, he's partly responsible for that. So I thank him for doing that, helping me do this. But that's all I got from the desk, Uncle Fred. As I often say every week, please like, comment, subscribe, and you know, if you pick with us, tell us what your picks are. And if you think our picks are whack, say that. Give us some feedback. You know, I mean, you know, give us something. You know, I watched the video. You say anything? No. Say something. Come on now. You know, like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. You get some good insight. You know, TK will tell you some jokes, and you know, and he the funny man. I'm the straight man. Y'all do know that, right?
Right.
Everybody like, nah, I think not. But that's all we got, man. Happy Football Sunday, man. We'll catch you guys on the next week, man. God bless y'all. Take care, man.
Take care.